Hello everyone, it's Imran here. Welcome back to another video. So I'm going to react to Kiefer Adams' newest audio story from his Thomas and Friends Season 4 of audio stories. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm getting wind all of a sudden. And this one's called Never Bother a Bulldozer. So yeah, this was the newest one that was uploaded yesterday. Didn't react to it yesterday because I had a lot of stuff going on yesterday, so I do apologize for that. But here we are now. What was the last audio story that I reacted to? What was the last one I reacted to? I'm gonna have to come up the video. My laptop is being slow as well. I get it now. It was Basil to the Rescue, so which featured the return of Basil the Electric Diesel. It was. So you do want to check that out. I'll have that up in the top right corner of your screen. So Never Bother a Bulldozer is going to feature the newest of Kiefer's OC characters, and it's called Rico, who works at the quarries of Sodor. So I don't know if he works at the China clay pits, but I know he works at different quarries on the island, from what I can read from the description right there. So looks like this is going to be a story set during season 3. It is, so that's good. That's a nice one to know about, that we're getting a series 3 audio story. Let's give some series 3 some love. Really enjoyed the last audio story. It was basically a slice of life story, and yeah, that's basically all I gotta say. Only negative is that YouTube once again turned off Kiefer's comments. Why YouTube? Why? I don't know why, but I'm not going to let that stop me reacting to Kiefer's stories, and definitely not going to stop Kiefer from uploading. Links to the video I'm reacting to in the description down below as always. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into this.
Never Bother a Bulldozer. Written and told by Kiefer Adams. Rico was a small bulldozer who did odd jobs around the island of Sodor. He was the same size as Terence the tractor, but was a little older. Nowadays, Rico would occasionally work at a Nofa quarry on Thomas's branch line, where Mavis worked, or the China clay pits. Rico's job here was to clear away any debris or gravel that had fallen onto the tracks instead of the trucks. Rico preferred to work at the Nofa quarry, as he was always pleased to be in the company of the likes of Toby, Thomas or Mavis.
That's true.
But I'm sorry to say, when it came to the clay pits, it was a very different story. One morning, Bill and Ben arrived at the clay pits to start work earlier than usual. The Fat Controller had asked them to prepare a large train of stone trucks for Boko to collect. They had just turned a corner when something caught their eye. I told you it was going to look like that already, huffed Bill. Looks like I owe you 2 lumps of coal, chuckled Ben. Sure enough, there in front of them was Rico. He was being tended to by 2 quarrymen who were mending his engine. Oh dearly me, Rico, huffed Bill. Have we broken down again already? It's not even the crack of dawn yet, laughed Ben. Nothing of the sort, you rapscallions, roared Rico. This is just routine check, that's all. Do you know what, Rico, huffed Bill? One of these days you're going to fall apart. It'll be such a shame, huffed Ben. It always happens to the oldies round here, doesn't it? No wonder we youngsters are still getting on, chortled Bill. It was lucky for Rico.
If you said that to Rico in front of Edward, I'm pretty sure Edward would have been like, ahem. Guarantee you Edward would have been like, ahem. Does that include me? And Ben would have been like, no, you, Edward, not you at all.
Rico that the quarry manager had sent Bill and Ben on their way to start work. He was hurt by their words and very cross. Despite his age, Rico was always determined to prove he was really useful all the same. Later that day, Rico's engine had been mended and he had been cleaned and polished. Bill and Ben had managed to sort out Boko's trucks and had been sent to work on another part of the island later that day. For a while, Rico was alone with his thoughts. Before long, Boko arrived to collect his train. "Hello, Rico," he called. "How are we keeping?" Okay, I suppose," said the old bulldozer. He then told Boko all about Bill and Ben. "I'll take no notice of 'em," Boko said. "They know when to quit when they're ahead." "How do you think Edward and I managed to keep 'em in order?"
That's
"Is that
true.
why Duck calls 'em the bees?" asked Rico. "I suppose so," chuckled Boko.
Ah, reference to Buzz Buzz.
"Like I said, don't let the twins get you down. They'll come round and see how useful you are in time."
Yep.
Rico gave a small smile. Soon Boko was ready to leave, and he left the clay pits with his trucks.
If you ever want any advice on how to deal with Bill and Ben, just ask Edward and Boko. They know how to do it.
Just as he had been before, Rico was left alone with only his thoughts for company. It was lucky that Boko managed to have a rest at Edward Station. The old blue engine was there waiting to bank a train up Gordon's Hill. Boko was able to explain the situation. That evening, Bill and Ben were finishing up at the harbour. They had been shunting trucks all afternoon, and the sun was going down even before they'd finished. They were also to spend the night at the harbour and return to the clay pits the next morning.
Okay.
They were just settling down for the night when Edward arrived. "Would you two like to explain to me what you've said about Rico?" he asked. "We didn't say anything," began Bill. "Don't give me that," huffed Edward. "Boko told me." "What do you expect from an old bulldozer, Edward?" huffed Bill. "He just sits in corners of the quarry and does nothing," huffed Ben. "He's too old to be useful." "Oh, and I suppose if I was to sit in a siding and rust away, would you call me old and useless?" asked Edward.
Yeah.
Bill and Ben were hesitant to answer the question. "As I thought," said Edward. "Rico might be the oldest resident on Sodor, but at least he tries to work hard and be useful for the Fat Controller.
100%.
Now, I'd advise you to make it up to Rico when you go back to the clay pits in the morning. He might surprise you, as I've surprised the mainline engines in the past." With nothing else to say, Edward puffed away. For the rest of the night, Bill and Ben were strangely quiet. The next morning, the dock manager asked Bill and Ben to help out around the harbour. The Fat Controller asked Thomas and Mavis to head up to the clay pits and arrange the morning trains.
What's going on here?
Mavis was pleased to be out of the quarry, and Thomas was happy for a change of scenery besides his branch line. Before long, Thomas was bustling backwards and forwards with trucks full of stone.
What's going on here?
But he was getting overexcited. "Slow down," huffed Mavis. "You're going to have an accident." "I don't have accidents," boasted Thomas.
Famous last words.
"Oh, so you didn't fall into a jetty then," muttered Mavis quietly. But as the day went on, Thomas got more and more careless. He shunted 6 fully loaded trucks of stone into an old siding. Mavis, sensing that something was about to happen, darted after him. "Stop!" she yelled, but it was too late. Thomas watched in horror as, by a dent in the track, the first truck came clean off the rails, followed by the rest. The next thing Thomas and Mavis knew, they were up to their buffers in stone, which surrounded them.
"Oh dear."
"Oops," said Thomas innocently, blushing a deep shade of red. "Oops indeed," said Mavis. "How are we going to get out of this?" "Can I help?" called a voice from the corner of the clay pits. When Thomas and Mavis saw where the voice came from, they were more than happy to see who had come to the rescue.
Rico!
By the time Bill and Ben returned to the clay pits, the mess had been cleared up and the trucks were all loaded again. "What happened to you two?" exclaimed Bill. We had a accident," said Thomas. "You had an accident," cut in Mavis, "but it's all fine now." But how did you manage to clear up the mess in such good time? Asked Ben.
Rico!
At that moment, Rico appeared with the quarry manager. It's a good thing Rico was here to clear up the mess, he said to the twins.
Yep.
Had he not, it would have been a different situation. I hope you both understand that Rico is an essential member to our clay pits, no matter how old he is. Bill and Ben felt very ashamed. We're sorry we were rude, Rico, said Bill. You're really useful, and you've certainly proved it, said Ben. Oh, that's all right, said Rico. You're both forgiven. Now, if you excuse me, clearing up that mess made me tired. I'll see you all later.
Rico's yawning just like me
Rico
right there.
went to his favourite place in the clay pits and went to sleep. Well, said Bill, what do you think of that? We will certainly never bother a bulldozer ever again.
That's where the title comes from.
And the twins kept to their word.
That's where the title came from right there. That's where the title came from. Yep. You two should learn never to bother a bulldozer right there. So, Rico does remind me a little bit of Terrence, but he also reminds me a little bit of Byron, he does, only he's a smaller version of Byron and a different version of Terrence. Wow. Wasn't expecting Thomas to be careless right there. I mean, Thomas was showed maturity throughout the classic series, but there were times where that maturity could have been a little bit better at times. I mean, I know he's excited for a change of scenery, but I think he got too excited right there. Luckily for them, Rico was on hand to save the day, and like Bill said, never bother a bulldozer again. And I'm glad that they're sticking there. Hopefully they'll stick to that. But yeah, that's basically what I gotta say. That was a good audio story. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Can't wait for this Sunday's audio story, Gordon Cable's Up, which focuses around Gordon's cable in Series 1. Definitely can't wait to see that one right there. So bringing back the magic of Series 1. But this is a good story. I enjoyed it. Definitely would have fit for Series 3. It would have. You want to check out my previous Thomas reactions whenever it's an audio story or Trains adaptation. I'll play this up in the top right corner of your screen right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button for me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought this audio story I reacted to. Also let me know in the comments down below what other videos you want me to react to next. Follow me on Instagram. My links will be in the description down below. Share this video, subscribe if you're new here, ring that bell to get notified for when I upload new videos or when I post on the community tab, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!